Chosen one, if lately you've been feeling as if something is shifting within you, something that stirs in the very depth of your soul, then take heart, for this is not random. This is divine preparation. God has always been at work in the background orchestrating changes that you may not yet fully understand. But today, you're being called to recognize the unseen work that's been unfolding in your life. You may have felt a restlessness creeping into your spirit. The things that once brought you peace now seem to drain you. Conversations that used to fill you with joy now leave you feeling empty. The surroundings that once felt like home now feel foreign to you. That's not confusion, that's confirmation. God is moving you, not just physically but spiritually, to the land that matches your spirit. The land where your purpose, your calling, and your anointing will finally flourish. For many of you, this message is coming as a reminder of a truth you've felt but couldn't fully articulate. You are being prepared for something greater, something divinely tailored to your destiny. Right now, you may be standing in a place that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. You may feel disconnected, like you're walking through life with a purpose that no one else seems to understand. The people around you may not recognize the changes happening within you, and that can leave you feeling misunderstood. But rest assured, chosen one, that this shift is not punishment. It is elevation. God has been preparing you for this moment, the moment when the environment around you no longer aligns with the growth that is happening within you. Your spirit has matured beyond the walls that once contained it. The old places no longer fit you, and that's because they were never meant to. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth. And the beauty of this preparation lies in the fact that God is not just moving your body. He is realigning your spirit with a place, a purpose, and people who match your divine frequency. This is not a coincidence, chosen one. This is divine timing. God has been positioning you, preparing you, and aligning you with a land that will truly nurture and expand who you are meant to become. The restlessness you've been feeling, it's God gently nudging you towards that higher purpose. In fact, the closer you get to the land that matches your spirit, the more the old places and relationships will begin to fade away. The discomfort you've been feeling is actually an invitation to grow beyond the places that have defined you up until now. The things that once brought you comfort no longer fit because your spirit is evolving. So take a moment to reflect on the stirring within you. This is not about leaving behind everything you once loved. It's about stepping into a new season where your calling can thrive. You are being repositioned in the spirit to fulfill a purpose that has always been inside of you, but it's only now that your environment is ready to carry the weight of your divine assignment. God's movement is often subtle at first. You may not immediately see the physical changes, but you can feel them. You can sense it in the way your spirit is rising, in the way your thoughts are shifting, in the way you're beginning to see yourself differently. You are not who you once were, and you will never fit back into the spaces you've outgrown. Chosen one. Remember this. The discomfort you're feeling is the unmistakable confirmation that you are being prepared for something greater. God is moving you into a new land, a land that matches your spirit. Chosen one, as you stand on the precipice of something new. You may find yourself looking back at the old places, the familiar people, and the routines that once brought you comfort. But let me tell you something important. When you've outgrown an environment, it can no longer carry the weight of your calling. You see, divine relocation isn't about leaving behind a place. It's about stepping into an alignment that reflects the person you are becoming. The environment that once nurtured you now feels suffocating because it no longer matches your vibration, your purpose, or the greatness that God is preparing within you. The journey of divine relocation isn't always loud or dramatic. It starts quietly within you, in the depths of your spirit. You might not be able to pinpoint exactly when the change began, but the signs are undeniable now. There's a restlessness that stirs deep inside you, a sense that something is amiss, and the places where you once felt a sense of belonging now feel foreign. The peace that once filled you in those spaces has begun to fade, And no matter how much you try to hold on, there's this nagging feeling that you've outgrown them. You've simply outgrown them. This is not failure. This is growth. When your spirit matures, so too must your surroundings. As you evolve, the spaces you inhabit must shift to match the frequency you're now operating on. You see, chosen one, your purpose is expanding, and the environment that once served as a place of preparation can no longer hold what God has placed within you. It's like a tree that has grown too large for its pot. At first, the pot was just right, providing the necessary space for the roots to grow, but now it's restricting its potential. The tree needs more room. Room to spread its branches. Room to reach for the sky, room to flourish and bear fruit. God does not ask you to remain in a space that limits your potential. He calls you forward. He calls you to grow into a land that matches your new season, one that will support your destiny. And this is why it's so crucial to understand that when the grace for an old place begins to lift, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Just like Abraham was called to leave his father's house and move to a land God would show him, you too are being invited to move forward. God doesn't always give you the full picture up front. He gives you the direction and asks you to trust Him. It's important to recognize that this feeling of not fitting in anymore is a divine invitation. It's not instability, it's invitation. It's God inviting you to grow beyond where you started. You are being called to step into new spaces that will allow your spirit to expand and flourish in ways that your old environment could never accommodate. The truth is, your old environment was necessary for your development up to this point. It served its purpose. It was a place of training, a place of learning, a place where you were refined and shaped. But it was never meant to be the final destination. God uses certain seasons and spaces to prepare you, but eventually those same spaces become too small for the magnitude of what He's called you to. Just as a caterpillar must leave its cocoon to become a butterfly, you too must leave your old surroundings to fully step into the person God has destined you to be. But here's where the challenge often lies. Many people resist this transition. They fight to stay in the environment they've grown familiar with, even when they feel the grace leaving. The fear of the unknown, the comfort of what is familiar, and the desire to hold on to what once worked can make it difficult to embrace the change. But chosen one, I'm here to tell you that you cannot stay where grace has already lifted. Trying to cling to what is already fading will only exhaust you and leave you feeling unfulfilled. It will feel like trying to pour from an empty cup. When grace leaves a place, lingering there leads to spiritual suffocation. You will begin to feel unseen, unheard, unfulfilled, not because the place itself has changed, but because you have. Your purpose has evolved, and the space you once occupied no longer has the capacity to support the vision that is now unfolding within you. The good news, however, is that God is leading you out of that space toward the land that will nurture your calling. Many times it can be difficult to recognize this season for what it is. You may feel a sense of loss as relationships and environments that once brought you comfort begin to fade. You might find that doors that used to open easily are now being shut without explanation. Conversations that once inspired you now seem empty. This can feel unsettling, even painful. But this chosen one is your invitation to grow beyond where you are. You are no longer meant to fit in places that drain you. You are being called to a new space that will honor your growth and align with your divine purpose. You might also notice that as you outgrow your old surroundings, certain relationships begin to fade. This is part of the divine relocation process. Not everyone who is part of your journey so far will be able to make the transition with you. Some relationships were only meant for your wilderness season, not for your promised land. People who were companions for your healing may not be able to walk with you into the fullness of your destiny. They were part of your construction, not your calling. And that's okay. It's not betrayal. It's protection. When God starts shifting your territory, He will also begin to filter your circle. This is not to isolate you, but to protect your purpose. In the new land, you will need to be surrounded by people who align with your spirit and support your calling. The voices that helped you heal in the past may not be the ones who will help you build in the future. God is clearing away the distractions, removing the excess noise so that you can hear His voice more clearly. This divine loneliness is not abandonment, it is alignment. You are being set apart for elevation. So if you feel a sense of isolation, if certain people and places are fading out of your life, know that it is a sign of divine pruning. God is preparing you for something greater, and He is removing what no longer fits your calling. This is not a punishment, it's preparation. God is preparing you for a land where your gifts, your peace, and your destiny will finally fit. You are being moved from surviving in environments that merely tolerate you to thriving in spaces that celebrate you. And even though the transition may seem painful, it's a necessary part of your growth. God is stretching you, expanding your capacity to receive what He has promised you. And once you arrive in the land that matches your spirit, you will realize that every step, every challenge, every shift was necessary to get you to this point. Chosen one. The first sign that God is preparing you for divine relocation is an internal shift that you might not fully understand just yet. It begins as a subtle restlessness, a discomfort deep within your soul. It's not the kind of unease that comes from a bad situation or a negative emotion, but rather a spiritual stirring, a quiet signal from your spirit telling you that something is about to change. You've probably felt it before, but couldn't quite put your finger on it. It's the kind of feeling that keeps you awake at night, makes you question why things that once brought you comfort no longer do, and leaves you searching for something that feels more aligned with your purpose. That chosen one is the sign that divine movement is happening beneath the surface. This restlessness isn't a call for more. It's a call for more of you, for the deeper version of yourself that is waiting to emerge. God is stirring you up, nudging you towards a deeper understanding of your calling and causing you to feel misaligned in spaces that no longer serve your destiny. Your spirit is expanding, and when that happens, the old places where you've been may no longer feel like home. There's a reason you're no longer satisfied with the life you once lived. It's because God is stretching you, preparing you for a life that is more aligned with your spiritual identity. When this feeling of divine restlessness arises, it's not a coincidence. It's heaven's way of telling you that the old season is over and that a new one is about to begin. But for this new season to unfold, you must first embrace the discomfort. You must step into the uncertainty of the unknown and trust that what God has planned for you is greater than anything you've left behind. God does not move us in a hurry. He takes His time and He works in His own perfect timing. But when that timing is right, the restlessness in your spirit will become impossible to ignore. This is not a time to be passive. It's a time to lean in. Listen closely and allow the restlessness to lead you. Now, I know that change can be scary. There's a part of you that might resist it, that feels a sense of loss as you leave behind the familiar. But chosen one, I want you to understand something. That feeling of discomfort is not a sign of failure. It's confirmation that you are being prepared for the next level. God never calls us to remain in spaces that limit our potential. And when your spirit feels restless, it's because you're being invited to expand beyond the confines of your current surroundings. When you start feeling the urge to move, when the places you once thrived in no longer resonate with your spirit, don't panic. That's not a sign that you've made a mistake. It's a divine invitation to move into the land that matches your calling. When the old no longer satisfies, that's when you can be sure that the new is ready for you. It's a beautiful paradox. You feel unsettled, yet that unrest is the signal that something far more beautiful is on its way. God is stretching your capacity for more of His presence, more of His purpose, and more of His peace. The restlessness will not be loud or obvious at first. It will appear as a quiet but persistent discontent in your soul. It might start small, but the more you ignore it, the louder it will get. It will come through feelings of dissatisfaction, a longing for more than what you're currently experiencing. This divine stirring will push you to look deeper into your life and question what no longer serves your growth. And as you begin to confront these feelings, you will start to realize that the place you're in no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. The people, the routines, the places, they just don't match your frequency anymore. This is divine restlessness, and it's the first sign that God is preparing you to step into the land that matches your spirit. This feeling of divine restlessness is closely tied to the second sign of divine relocation, the closing of doors. When God is preparing to move you to the land that matches your spirit, doors that once opened easily will begin to shut. Opportunities that once flowed smoothly will start to dry up. Resources will feel blocked, relationships that once felt easy will become strained, and the environments that once felt familiar will feel foreign. This is not a sign of failure, but rather a divine redirection. God is closing access to places, people, and things that no longer align with your divine purpose. And here's the truth. Closure is not rejection, it's protection. When God closes a door, He is protecting you from staying in a place that can no longer serve your destiny. The grace for that place has expired. It may feel like a setback, but it is actually God moving you forward. He is clearing your path, removing anything that would hold you back from stepping into the land where your spirit will finally be able to breathe. I know that sometimes when doors close, it can feel like everything is falling apart. You might wonder, why is this happening to me? But chosen one, I want to remind you that when God shuts one door, He's opening another. The fact that you can no longer find peace in your old spaces is a clear indication that God is moving you towards a new place, a new opportunity, a new season. The closed doors are not to harm you. They are to guide you toward what you've been praying for, even if you didn't know you were praying for it yet. When doors begin to close, I encourage you not to fight them. Don't waste your energy trying to pry open what God has already sealed shut. Instead, to trust that He has something better in store for you. This period of divine closure is actually a moment of divine protection. If you stayed in the places where grace has lifted you, would drain yourself trying to resurrect what is already dead. Trust that God is leading you away from what no longer serves you, and be at peace with the closure. It is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a new chapter. There's another aspect to this sign of divine relocation, something that is more subtle but equally important: divine disconnection from people and environments. Chosen one, when God begins to prepare you for relocation, He will start to disconnect you from people and environments that can no longer align with your calling. These disconnections will happen quietly at first. You may notice that people you once spoke to every day suddenly stop reaching out. Relationships that once felt close begin to fade. You may feel isolated or misunderstood, but this is part of the divine process. The reason this happens is simple. God is preparing you for something greater, and not everyone can transition with you. Some people were meant to walk with you in your past season, but they can't go with you into the future. They were companions for your healing, but not for your building. Not everyone who helped you heal can help you grow. This divine disconnection may feel painful, especially when people you've known for a long time begin to distance themselves. You may feel confused, asking yourself, why is this happening? What did I do wrong? But chosen one, this is not rejection, it's refinement. God is clearing the path for your next chapter, and that means removing distractions, voices, and attachments that would hinder your progress. This divine disconnection is part of the spiritual realignment process. You are being positioned for elevation, and that requires a new circle, one that will support and nurture your calling. Not everyone will be able to understand the magnitude of your destiny, and that's okay. Some relationships, even if they were once good, can no longer keep up with your spiritual growth. Trust the process, chosen one, and let God prune your circle. What's being removed is not meant to go with you. You are being aligned with people who will understand your purpose and walk with you into the next level of your destiny. Chosen one, as you move closer to the land that matches your spirit, one of the most pivotal signs of this divine relocation is a shift in your relationships and the people you are surrounded by. This divine disconnection can often be subtle, but its impact will be deeply felt. As God begins to elevate you, He will also begin to disconnect you from environments, situations, and people that no longer align with your purpose. This disconnection is not a rejection, but rather an act of protection and divine preparation. You may notice a quiet separation happening, and at first it may not make sense. Conversations with certain people begin to feel forced. Relationships that once flourished may begin to wither, and what felt like deep connections may now feel distant. At times, you might even wonder if you've done something wrong. You might question why people who were once so supportive are now pulling away, or why you no longer feel comfortable in spaces where you once thrived. But this chosen one is part of the process of divine relocation. God is not moving you out of these environments to punish you. He is moving you out to protect you. Some of the people you once considered close were never meant to accompany you on the next phase of your journey. They were companions for your wilderness, but they are not called to walk with you into your promised land. The wilderness prepared you, but the promised land requires a different level of company, a higher level of alignment. The people God is bringing into your life are those who will help you grow, build, and prosper in the new land. This disconnection often comes as a result of spiritual misalignment. The purpose of divine relocation is to align your life with God's will, and not everyone in your life can share in that alignment. The people who are with you in one season might not have the spiritual maturity or understanding to walk with you in the next. This doesn't mean they are bad people. It simply means that they have completed their purpose in your life, and now it's time for both of you to move on. You may feel sadness, confusion, and even a sense of abandonment as these relationships begin to fade. But understand this: God is protecting your purpose. The voices that once helped you heal may not be able to help you build. Some people, though well-meaning, can become distractions that keep you tethered to a past season. If you are to step into the fullness of your calling, you must be surrounded by people who understand and support your purpose. This period of divine disconnection can be difficult, but it's also an invitation to trust God more deeply. As the old relationships fade, God is calling you to step into a season of spiritual solitude where you can hear Him more clearly. Sometimes God allows periods of loneliness so that you can focus on His voice and on the path He is preparing for you. It's not abandonment, it's alignment. The purpose of this disconnection is not to isolate you forever, but to separate you from the distractions that could hinder your growth in the new land. You may feel like you're walking this journey alone, but remember, God is with you, and He is surrounding you with the right people at the right time. These divine connections will come in due season, connections with people who are aligned with your purpose, who will encourage you, support you, and walk alongside you into the next phase of your destiny. Let me say this clearly. Not everyone can follow you where you're going. Some people were assigned to your wilderness, but not to your promised land. They helped you survive, but now you are being called to thrive. When God begins to shift your territory, He will also filter your circle. This is a process of divine pruning. It's not rejection, it's protection. During this period, God will use silence and solitude to refine your focus. It's in these moments of separation that you will experience spiritual growth. You will learn to rely on God alone, not on the voices of others for guidance. You will begin to realize that while you may have needed the support of others in your old season, in this new season, God is preparing you to stand strong in your identity and calling with or without the approval of others. Chosen one, this divine disconnection is for your protection. God is making space for new relationships that will be more in line with your spiritual growth and purpose. These new relationships will come when you are ready, when your spirit is aligned with the land that matches your calling. It's important to trust God's timing during this season. Trust that He is not taking people away from you for no reason. He is simply preparing you for what's next. So if you're feeling isolated, or if relationships are drifting away, do not panic. This is not a sign that you've been abandoned. It is a sign that God is positioning you for something greater. The isolation you feel is intentional. God is separating you to elevate you. You're being positioned for divine alignment, and that requires a period of solitude to help you hear His voice clearly and understand His direction. Embrace this time of disconnection, for it will ultimately lead to the connections that will help you fulfill your calling. In the coming season, God will bring new people into your life, people who will understand your purpose and walk with you into your promised land. These new relationships will be divinely orchestrated. They will be people who are aligned with your destiny, who speak the same spiritual language as you, and who encourage you to step into the fullness of what God has for you. But before this can happen, God is doing the work of purging your circle. He is preparing you for these new relationships by removing the distractions that would keep you from your divine purpose. Let me remind you, chosen one, as God begins to disconnect you from the old. He is not leaving you alone. He is making room for the right people at the right time. Trust the process and be patient. The relationships you need to support your next season will come when you are spiritually prepared for them. And in the meantime, know that God is with you, strengthening you, guiding you, and positioning you for the land that truly matches your spirit. Chosen one, as you move through this process of divine relocation, you may begin to notice that doors that once opened effortlessly in your life are now starting to close. Opportunities that once flowed with ease are suddenly blocked. Relationships that once felt like they were meant to last are beginning to fade. Conversations that once sparked inspiration now leave you feeling drained. You may be wondering why all this is happening, but let me reassure you, this is not a setback, it's divine redirection. When God begins to move you toward the land that truly matches your spirit, He will begin to close doors in your life that no longer align with your purpose. This divine closure is not rejection, it is protection. The closed doors are God's way of preventing you from staying in places, situations, and relationships that can no longer support your calling. It's as if the grace for that specific area of your life is gradually lifting, and God is guiding you away from what no longer fits your divine assignment. It's important to understand that the doors that are closing were never meant to stay open forever. At one point in your journey, they served a purpose. Maybe they offered a lesson, a season of growth, or a platform to prepare you for what's to come. But as you step into a new season, the very doors that once welcomed you will begin to resist your progress. And this resistance, though uncomfortable, is a divine invitation to move forward into the land that God has prepared for you. You might feel a sense of frustration when opportunities that once felt easy now seem to slip through your fingers. You might even question what you're doing wrong, but chosen one, this is not about you failing. It's about God redirecting your steps. The closure of these doors is not a sign of failure or loss, but of alignment. The truth is, God has something greater waiting for you on the other side of these closed doors. And in order to walk through the right doors, you must first let go of the ones that were never meant to stay open for long. The resistance you're feeling, the doors that are closing, are not the work of the enemy. They are the work of God. He is closing off what would otherwise hold you back and lead you into places that could drain your energy and limit your potential. When God closes a door, it's because He's preparing you for something better. And though you may feel a sense of loss, understand that this is divine protection. When grace begins to lift from a particular place, the only way to avoid spiritual stagnation is to move on. Trying to force a door open that God has already closed will only exhaust you, and you'll find yourself draining your energy trying to resurrect what is already dead. Now let's talk about the importance of embracing these closed doors. It's easy to get caught up in the emotion of the moment, the disappointment of not being able to walk through a door you once thought was meant for you. But chosen one, I want you to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing these closed doors as a loss, begin to view them as a blessing in disguise. Every closed door is a redirection toward your destiny. It's God's way of saying, I have something better for you on the other side. Trust me, when one door closes, another will open. This is a fundamental principle in God's divine plan. But in order for the new doors to open, you must first walk away from the old ones. You must let go of what you thought was your opportunity, your blessing, and trust that God knows what He's doing. He's leading you toward a land that matches your spirit, a land where your calling will be nurtured, your purpose will thrive, and your peace will be restored. This is where faith comes into play. It takes faith to trust that when one door closes, it's not the end. It's just the beginning of something new. God is positioning you for something greater, but in order to step into that greater thing, you must first release what is holding you back. This doesn't mean that the closed doors weren't valuable in their time. They were, but their purpose has been fulfilled. The new season you're stepping into requires new opportunities, new relationships, and new spaces where your spirit can flourish. If you've been feeling frustrated with closed doors in your life, I encourage you to pause and reflect. Instead of focusing on what's being taken away, focus on what's being given to you, the space that is being cleared for you to walk into a greater season. You see, when God closes one door, He is making room for the new opportunities, blessings, and relationships that will align with your divine purpose. He is positioning you for greater impact, greater growth, and greater fruitfulness. Don't be afraid of the closed doors. Embrace them, knowing that they are part of the divine plan to move you into your promised land. The journey of divine relocation is not without its challenges, but it is always purposeful. The closed doors, the frustration, and the moments of confusion are all part of the process of getting you to the place where you truly belong. The land that matches your spirit is not a place of frustration, it's a place of fulfillment. And to get there, you must first trust God's timing and His process. Chosen one, you may feel like you're running out of options or that the doors you've been knocking on are not opening. But let me assure you, God is not limiting you, He is positioning you. The doors that are closing are simply making room for the right doors to open. Trust that in His perfect timing, you will find yourself walking through doors that align with your calling and destiny. These doors will not only open, they will swing wide, and you will walk through them with ease, knowing that you are stepping into the land that matches your spirit. So do not be dismayed by the closed doors. Celebrate them as signs of God's redirection. They are not barriers, they are blessings. They are not setbacks. They are setups for what's coming next. When one door closes, take a deep breath and say, "Thank you, God, for closing this door and preparing me for the next one." Trust that the best is yet to come, and that the land that matches your spirit is just ahead. Chosen one, before God ever changes your location, He changes your orientation. Long before the external world rearranges itself, an internal relocation begins quietly within you. This is the unseen shift. It is the moment when God moves your center of gravity from who you were to who you are becoming. Many people wait for circumstances to change before they believe God is at work. But divine relocation always starts on the inside. If your spirit has been shifting, maturing, and deepening in ways you cannot fully explain, that is not imagination. That is preparation. You may still wake up in the same house, go to the same job, see the same streets, and yet feel like you no longer occupy the same inner space. Your reactions have changed. Your tolerance for chaos has lowered. Your appetite for shallow things has disappeared. You are less interested in proving yourself and more committed to protecting your peace. This is not coincidence. God is repositioning your spirit before repositioning your feet. Internal relocation is when God upgrades your discernment. You begin to sense what fits and what does not, without needing evidence or explanation. Situations that once felt neutral now feel heavy. Conversations that once felt normal now feel draining. You are not becoming judgmental, you are becoming aligned. Your spirit is learning the language of your next territory, and anything that does not speak that language begins to feel foreign. This is also the stage where your inner authority increases. You stop asking people for permission to grow. You stop explaining yourself to those who cannot understand your assignment. You become quieter, not because you have nothing to say, but because you are listening more closely. God is recalibrating your inner compass so that when the external move happens, you do not wander. You will recognize your place when you arrive because your spirit will already be familiar with it. Many people miss this stage because it does not look impressive. There is no announcement, no applause, no visible breakthrough, but this unseen shift is one of the most important phases of the journey. Without it, external relocation would overwhelm you. God never moves you outward before strengthening you inward. The weight of the next land requires a deeper spiritual foundation, and this is where that foundation is being laid. You may notice that your prayers have changed. You are less focused on asking God to fix things and more focused on asking Him to align you. You are less desperate for answers and more committed to obedience. This is internal relocation. God is teaching you how to move from reaction to response, from emotion to discernment, from survival to stewardship. At this stage, God is also healing parts of you that you did not realize were still tender. Old wounds resurface not to harm you, but to be resolved. Memories, patterns, and habits you thought were behind you may come back into your awareness. This is not regression. This is refinement. God is clearing internal baggage so you do not carry it into the new land. He will not allow unresolved pain to sabotage future promise. Internal relocation also changes how you see yourself. You no longer define yourself by what you have been through, but by what God is building through you. Your identity begins to stabilize. You are not easily shaken by other people's opinions. You do not chase validation. You are becoming rooted. This is critical because the land that matches your spirit requires stability. It is not a place for emotional instability or spiritual insecurity. God is preparing you to stand firm before He asks you to stand visible. You may feel a strange combination of restlessness and peace during this season. Restless because you know something is coming. Peaceful because you trust God even without details. That peace is not passive. It is active trust. It is the quiet confidence that God is leading you step by step even when the map is incomplete. This is how Abraham walked. He moved internally long before he moved geographically. His faith shifted before his address did. Some of you are being internally relocated into higher spiritual authority. Your prayers carry more weight. Your words carry more impact. Your silence carries discernment. You are no longer easily manipulated by fear or pressure. God is teaching you how to operate from alignment rather than urgency. This internal authority is necessary because the next land will require leadership influence and responsibility. God does not place people into authority before teaching them how to govern themselves. You may also notice that your emotional reactions are slowing down. You pause before responding. You reflect before speaking. You are less reactive and more intentional. This is not emotional numbness. This is emotional maturity. God is teaching you how to carry power without aggression and confidence without arrogance. The land that matches your spirit requires this balance. Internal relocation is also when God begins to shift your expectations. You stop expecting fulfillment from people, places, or outcomes and start expecting guidance from God alone. This frees you from disappointment. When expectations are misplaced, disappointment is guaranteed. God is relocating your expectations so that when you enter the new land, you are not demanding from it what only God can provide. During this stage, you may feel misunderstood by people who once felt close to you. They sense that you have changed, but they cannot articulate how. This is because your spirit is already operating on a different frequency. You are not better than them. You are simply moving differently. Internal relocation creates distance before physical distance appears. This distance is not meant to divide permanently. It is meant to prepare you temporarily. Chosen one, do not rush this phase. Do not try to force external change before internal alignment is complete. Many people sabotage divine relocation by moving too soon, speaking too much, or acting prematurely. God is teaching you patience, timing, and restraint. These are not delays, they are protections. If you feel like you are in between not who you were and not yet where you are going, that is because you are being relocated internally. This in-between space is sacred. It is where clarity is formed, identity is strengthened, and obedience is refined. You are not stuck, you are being shaped. Trust this unseen shift. Trust the quiet changes. Trust the internal growth that no one else can see. When the external move happens, it will not shock you. It will feel familiar. You will step into the new land with confidence because your spirit arrived there first. Chosen one, as you continue on your journey of divine relocation, you may notice something profound happening within you. Your desires and priorities are beginning to shift. What once mattered to you now feels distant, irrelevant, or even unimportant. The things that once excited you, the ambitions that once drove you, no longer hold the same significance. This internal shift in desires is not something to fear. It's actually one of the clearest signs that God is preparing you for the land that matches your spirit. God never calls us to move without changing our hearts, and the land that He's preparing for you cannot sustain you unless your desires are aligned with His will. As God shifts your environment, He also shifts your heart. And this process is necessary for the fulfillment of your purpose. It's a divine realignment of your desires, a spiritual recalibration that positions you for what's next. You will no longer chase after fleeting things. Instead, your spirit will hunger for something deeper, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true calling. You may notice a growing dissatisfaction with the things that once filled your life. Material goals, recognition, status, and approval may start to feel hollow. The things that used to bring you joy now seem to drain your energy. It's not that they are inherently wrong. They simply no longer match the frequency of your calling. This is God purifying your desires, shifting them from the temporary to the eternal. In this season, it's important to embrace the shift. God is shifting your priorities so that you are more focused on what truly matters, your divine purpose, the relationships that will elevate you, and the work that will leave a lasting impact. You are no longer living for the things that gratify the flesh. You are being called to live for the things that build the spirit. You may find yourself losing interest in things that used to occupy your time and energy. Old ambitions might fade, and you may feel a sense of liberation as you let go of goals that no longer align with your divine purpose. This can be disorienting at first, especially if you've spent years pursuing certain achievements or dreams. But chosen one, this shift is not a loss. It is a gain. It's the moment when you stop chasing after what the world values and start pursuing what God values. God is preparing you for a new land where your priorities will align with His. As your desires shift, you'll begin to crave depth, purpose, peace, and connection. You'll desire more of God's presence and less of people's approval. Your heart will begin to yearn for things that are eternal, things that cannot be taken away. This is the spiritual maturity that prepares you to thrive in the land that matches your spirit. As God changes your desires, He also begins to align your actions with your new priorities. You may feel an inner pull to let go of certain relationships, habits, or activities that once took up your time and energy. This is not a sign of weakness or instability. It's a sign of spiritual growth. Your life is no longer governed by the things that once held sway over you. You are learning to live in alignment with the purpose God has set before you, and this alignment requires a realignment of your desires. You may feel an intense desire to serve others in a deeper way. The superficial goals of self-promotion or recognition will begin to feel shallow, while the desire to serve and impact lives will feel more fulfilling. This is part of the divine shift. The land that matches your spirit requires you to be focused on eternal values, on love, kindness, integrity, and service. This shift in desires is not a random occurrence. It is part of God's preparation for the work you're about to do. You may also begin to feel more drawn to the things of God, spending time in prayer, worship, and seeking His presence. The distractions of the world will become less appealing as you grow in your relationship with Him. Your priorities will begin to shift away from the fleeting pleasures of life and toward a deeper connection with your Creator. This is a natural part of the spiritual realignment that takes place when you are moving toward the land that matches your spirit. As your desires shift, you will notice that you start to align more closely with God's will for your life. Your desires will no longer be driven by external validation, but by a deep sense of purpose and calling. You will feel more confident in saying no to things that drain your energy and more confident in saying yes to things that align with your divine purpose. This is a powerful season of spiritual growth, and though it may feel uncomfortable at times, it is essential for your journey forward. God's desire is to refine your heart and purify your motives. The shift in your desires is part of this refinement process. As your spirit matures, you will find that your motivations begin to align more closely with His. You will no longer be living for the approval of others, but for the approval of God. You will seek to honor Him in all that you do, and in doing so, your desires will begin to reflect His heart. This process can feel like a quiet revolution within you. It's the internal work that prepares you for external change. As your desires shift, your vision becomes clearer. You will begin to see the path ahead with new clarity, and you will have the wisdom and discernment to navigate the land that matches your spirit. This clarity will also bring peace because you will no longer be chasing after things that do not align with your divine purpose. You will know exactly what you are meant to pursue, and that confidence will give you the courage to step into your new season. Chosen one, the shift in your desires is not just about what you no longer want. It's also about what you are being called to. You are being called to a deeper connection with God, to a higher level of service, and to a life that reflects His love and purpose. As you move toward the land that matches your spirit, you will find that your desires align perfectly with His will. Your heart will beat in rhythm with His, and you will find joy in serving others, in pursuing purpose, and in glorifying Him with your life. Embrace this shift in desires, chosen one. Know that it is part of God's preparation for the new land He is leading you to. Your desires will not be taken from you. They will be transformed into something more beautiful, more meaningful, and more aligned with your divine calling. Trust in this process and know that the best is yet to come. Chosen one, as you move closer to the land that matches your spirit, you may notice something miraculous happening around you. Despite the uncertainty, the challenges, and the disconnections, you will begin to experience a form of provision that goes beyond your understanding. This is not provision that comes through your own efforts or strategies. It is supernatural provision, a divine gift that aligns perfectly with the new season you are entering. This provision is a clear sign that God is not only moving you toward your destiny, but that He is already providing everything you need to step into it. As you go through this transition, it might feel like you're stepping into the unknown. You may not have all the answers, and the path ahead may seem unclear. But what you need to know, chosen one, is that divine provision always precedes divine relocation. Before God moves you physically, He ensures that your needs are met spiritually, emotionally, and practically. He will provide in unexpected ways, making sure that you are fully equipped for the journey ahead. You may begin to notice help arriving at the perfect moment, unexpected encouragement, unexpected resources, unexpected opportunities. These moments of provision will come in ways that might surprise you as God opens doors you didn't even know existed. It's as if He's going before you, making straight paths where there were none. The provision isn't just about meeting your physical needs. Though it certainly does that, it's also about confirming to you that you are on the right path. Supernatural provision manifests in several ways, and one of the first signs of it is the sense that you are never alone. As you step into unfamiliar territory, God will surround you with the right people, the right resources, and the right connections at the right time. This provision comes not just from your own efforts, but from heaven's abundant supply. You will find that things you need begin to show up when you need them the most, sometimes in ways that defy logic or expectation. Think of the story of Elijah at the brook Cherith. God told him to go there, and while he was there, he provided for him in an extraordinary way. Ravens brought him food every day, and there was always water in the brook. God didn't just give Elijah enough to get by. He gave him what he needed for the journey ahead. The provision was unexpected, miraculous, and perfectly timed. Elijah didn't have to struggle or fight for it. It was simply there, provided by God, in a way that demonstrated his faithfulness and provision. In the same way, God is providing for you during this time of transition. You might not always know where the next provision will come from, but rest assured, it will come. God is using this time to show you that you don't need to rely on your own resources, your own strategies, or your own strength. Instead, you will learn to trust in his provision, which is abundant, always on time, and exactly what you need. You may also experience provision in the form of opportunities. As you step into the new land, doors that were previously closed will begin to open, not by your own doing, but by the hand of God. These new opportunities will seem tailor-made for you, as if everything you've gone through up until now has been preparing you for this moment. You will find that the right people will cross your path, resources you didn't know you had will become available, and you'll feel a new sense of clarity and direction that propels you forward. Divine provision also comes in the form of peace during uncertainty. You may not have everything figured out, but there will be a deep, unexplainable peace within you that assures you that God is in control. Even when everything around you feels uncertain, you will have an inner assurance that you are being led exactly where you need to go. This peace is supernatural in nature. It doesn't come from circumstances or external validation. It comes from God himself reminding you that you are his, and he is faithful to lead you to the land that matches your spirit. As you continue through this transition, chosen one, remember that God's provision is not just a one-time occurrence. It is a continual supply. Every step you take forward, he will continue to provide. It's like manna in the wilderness. God provided for the Israelites every day, not just once. He will continue to provide everything you need as long as you continue to trust in him. Each day is a new opportunity to witness his faithfulness and to experience his provision in a new and profound way. It's also important to note that God's provision during transition often comes when you step out in faith. When you obey God's call and take that first step toward your new land, you are making room for the provision that will follow. Just like the Israelites had to step into the Red Sea before it parted, you must step out in faith before the provision fully manifests. The act of obedience is the catalyst for God's supernatural provision to unfold in your life. As you trust him and take that step, you will find that what you need is already on the way. At times, the provision may come in the form of wisdom and insight. God will guide you with clarity and discernment, allowing you to make decisions that are aligned with your purpose. This wisdom will provide the direction you need in the midst of uncertainty. You may not always have all the answers, but you will know the right next step to take. And that is enough. In those moments, God will show you exactly what you need to know at the exact right time. Chosen one. I want you to understand that this supernatural provision is a testament to God's faithfulness and his love for you. You are not being sent into this new season alone. He is providing for you in ways that you can't even imagine. As you move forward, trust that his provision will meet you at every turn, and when you look back on this season, you will see that he was always there, guiding, providing, and leading you to the land that matches your spirit. So take heart, chosen one. The provision is already in place. Trust in God's timing. Trust that he is opening doors for you, connecting you with the right people, and providing the resources you need. You are not alone. God is with you every step of the way. His supernatural provision will carry you into the new land, the land that matches your spirit, your calling, and your destiny. Step forward in faith, knowing that God has already gone before you and that he is more than able to provide for every need along the way. Chosen one, as you prepare to step into the land that God has promised you, it's important to understand that this land is not just a physical place, but a spiritual reality. A space where your soul, your calling, and your purpose will finally align. It's a place where everything you've endured, every trial you've faced, every challenge you've overcome will come together in perfect harmony. This is the land that matches your spirit, a land where your anointing flows freely, where your peace is deep, and where your purpose will thrive without resistance. The land that matches your spirit is not merely a geographical location. It is an environment that has been divinely prepared for you, a space where everything around you will reflect the person God has been shaping you into. In the past, you may have felt like a square peg trying to fit into a round hole, like your purpose and your surroundings were misaligned. But in this new land, there will be no more friction, no more struggling to fit in. You will find that everything fits perfectly because this place was made for you. This is a place where your gifts will be recognized and celebrated, where your purpose will no longer be hidden or suppressed, but will be released with ease. You won't have to fight for your place in the land. It will naturally recognize you, and it will provide everything you need to flourish. This land will align with your calling in every way, spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. The relationships you form in this land will nourish you, and the opportunities you encounter will support your divine assignment. You may not immediately understand everything about this land, but when you step into it, you will know that you are home. There will be a deep sense of peace and overwhelming feeling that you've finally arrived where you were meant to be. You won't have to force things to work. Everything will flow with a divine rhythm because the land will be in alignment with your spirit. You will feel connected to it in a way that goes beyond logic or reasoning. It will resonate with your heart, and you will finally experience the fullness of God's promise for your life. This land will not only provide for your needs, it will elevate you. It will take you from surviving to thriving. The old places you inhabited were just a place of preparation, a place where you learned to trust God, where you learned resilience and perseverance. But the new land is where your growth will flourish. It's where your influence will multiply. It's where your authority will be established. God is moving you into a place where your spirit can breathe freely, where you will no longer have to fight to stay alive, but where you will thrive because everything around you has been divinely ordained to nurture your calling. In this land, the work you do will be a reflection of your divine purpose. The impact you make will be far-reaching, and your influence will be recognized. You will no longer feel like a stranger or an outsider. You will feel deeply connected to your environment, your community, and your destiny. The relationships you form will be aligned with your calling, and the people you meet will be those who understand and support your purpose. Chosen one, this land that matches your spirit is not a place of comfort, it's a place of responsibility. Just as the Israelites were given the promised land, it wasn't just a gift. It was a responsibility to cultivate, protect, and steward. Similarly, the land that God is moving you to requires your active participation. You are being called to take ownership of it, to invest your time, your energy, and your resources into it. But this land will not drain you. It will replenish you. Every effort you put into it will be rewarded, because this is the land where your purpose will come to fruition. When you enter this new land, you will notice that things are different. The challenges you face will feel different. The obstacles that once felt insurmountable will now seem like stepping stones. The people who once doubted you will now support you. The resources that seemed scarce will now flow freely. You will find that everything you need is already in place. God has already prepared the way for you, and He has gone before you to ensure that this land is ready to receive you. This land will be a place where your true identity will be revealed. No longer will you feel the need to shrink or hide who you are. You will no longer feel the pressure to fit into someone else's mold or to be something you're not. In this land, you will be free to be who God created you to be, and your gifts will shine brightly for all to see. There will be no more hiding, no more pretending. You will walk confidently in the fullness of your divine identity, and the world will take notice. In this new land, the battles you face will have a different purpose. You will no longer fight just to survive. You will fight to protect the promise. You will fight to establish God's kingdom. You will fight to create the environment that aligns with His will. But you will not fight alone. God will fight for you, and you will see His hand move powerfully on your behalf. Every battle you face will lead you to greater victory, greater influence, and greater authority. You will not be defeated. You will be elevated. One of the most significant aspects of this land is that it will bring a deep sense of peace. In the past, you may have been fighting for your place, striving to prove your worth, and constantly feeling like you were on the outside looking in. But in this new land, you will find rest. You will no longer have to fight to belong. You will belong because this place has been specifically prepared for you. It's a land that recognizes your divine assignment, and it will welcome you with open arms. There will be no more striving. There will be peace. This peace will not come from the absence of challenges, but from knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. You will no longer feel like you're chasing after something that is just out of reach. Instead, you will feel grounded in your purpose and confident in your identity. This peace will allow you to rest, to grow, and to flourish without the constant pressure to prove yourself. You will be able to move with purpose without fear because you will know that this land is exactly where God has placed you to fulfill your destiny. So, chosen one, as you prepare to step into the land that matches your spirit, trust that God has gone before you to prepare this place for you. He has made it a place of peace, a place of abundance, and a place of divine alignment. Everything you need is already in place. You will not have to fight for it. You will step into it, and it will be exactly as you need it to be. This is the land where your purpose will unfold, where your anointing will flow freely, and where your calling will be fully realized. The land that matches your spirit is not just a destination, it is a manifestation of God's promise to you, and when you enter it, you will realize that it has been waiting for you all along. Trust the process, trust the journey, and know that everything you've been through has led you to this moment. You are about to enter the land that is yours by divine right, and nothing can take it from you. Chosen one, as you step into the land that matches your spirit, I want to remind you of something important. This new season is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a new chapter. Yes, you have been prepared, but now you must also steward the promise. This land is not a place to settle into passivity or complacency. It is a land of responsibility, growth, and purpose. You may feel a sense of relief and joy as you enter this new land, and rightly so. After all the waiting, all the pruning, and all the preparation, it is finally time to experience the fulfillment of God's promises in your life. However, as much as this land will nurture and provide for you, it will also require your active participation. You will be called to build, to cultivate, and to protect what God is giving you. But here's the beauty of it. Everything you need to thrive in this new land has already been provided for you. As you step into this place, know that God has gone before you, making the path clear and providing the resources you need. You won't have to fight for what's yours. God has already arranged the provisions, the relationships, and the opportunities that will allow you to flourish in this new territory. Embracing the land that matches your spirit means you are accepting the responsibility that comes with it. It means that you are walking in full alignment with your divine calling. In this land, you will be tasked with more than just existing. You will be asked to grow, to expand, and to help others do the same. The land that matches your spirit is not just a space for you to rest and enjoy. It's a place where you will have an impact, where you will influence those around you, and where you will create something that outlasts you. You are not here just for your own benefit. God has placed you in this land to be a blessing to others. Your purpose is intertwined with the people and the places around you. This land is meant to be cultivated not just for your own prosperity, but for the prosperity of everyone around you. It is a place where you will be able to multiply your gifts and your talents for the greater good. Your presence in this land will bring transformation to others, just as it brings transformation to you. As you embrace the land that matches your spirit, I encourage you to guard it. Protect it with your prayers, your actions, and your faith. This land is holy ground. and it requires your stewardship. The promise that God has given you is a precious gift, and it is your responsibility to nurture it, to protect it, and to allow it to grow in ways that honor God. As you do this, you will find that not only will your life flourish, but the lives of those around you will flourish as well. God is calling you to a place of impact, a place where your gifts and your purpose will intersect with the world around you. This new land is not just about material success or personal fulfillment. It is about fulfilling the calling God has placed on your life and being a vessel through which His love and light can shine into the world. The land that matches your spirit is a place where your soul can breathe freely, where you can finally be who God created you to be, and where you can fulfill the divine destiny He has prepared for you. As you step forward, know that you are walking into a season of abundance, favor, and growth. Trust that God has already provided everything you need for this journey. His provision, His guidance, and His presence will never leave you. You are not stepping into this land alone. God is with you every step of the way. The new land will not always be easy. There will be challenges and obstacles along the way, but remember, you are equipped for them. God has already built you for this moment. You have the wisdom, the strength, and the courage to overcome anything that comes your way. Trust in Him, lean on Him, and remember that He has already prepared the way. So, chosen one, embrace this new season with faith, with excitement, and with gratitude. Step into the land that matches your spirit and claim your place in it. This is your time to thrive, to grow, and to fulfill the purpose God has set before you. Your journey has been long, but the reward is here. Welcome to the land that matches your spirit. Wish Holy Spirits with you, chosen ones.